Hello, and welcome back to the Fire Emblem Talkthrough. Me, the Jonin Monkey.
And me, Sven, the Crusader.
Last time, we ordered the Island of Valor, and now we're going to take down the Black Bank for cursing the last video. My freaking lord. How many times do I have to upload that thing before it worked?
Well, I only saw 2 of them.
Oh, jeez. Anyway. Yeah, like I said, this is the part where the game gets slightly harder. It's also when the story really starts to get moving. I believe this is the first time we see Nurgle's face in this. And oh, wait for it. There we go. There is Nurgle.
Yeah, he doesn't look evil at all.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with evil beings, or not evil beings, just evil people in general, just growing a goatee. That's not really good for the image, to be honest.
Yeah, not to mention the ominous turban, and my god, that cape.
Yeah. Well, in fairness, he could just be trying to be a shaman, but... But yeah, no, this is also the first time we've seen Eliwood's father outside of random mugshots on a map, so this is where we start to learn a little bit more about the villain's plan, and he plans to summon dragons in order to, and basically get them under his control, which is kind of terrifying considering how the prologue stated dragons destroyed the world, pretty much.
Yeah, and that was whenever there were heroes that powerful to stop them that we don't have anymore.
Yeah. Although the context of said war is a little bit iffy once you find out the full story of Fire Emblem 6, but that's a completely other topic. Also, I'm sorry to go on topic, but I do like the fact that he just randomly, that word's all capitals, a glorious amount of force in one blow. It's just...
Oh god, it reminds me of this one character from Homestuck, randomly capitalizing the word strong.
Oh dear, but yeah. This is also where we introduced to, well, we already knew Epidel, and as you see, Limsdale is now one of the other main villains, and this is the first time we learn what exactly they are. They are a race of beings called Morphs, hence why they have golden eyes, black hair, and ominous music following them wherever they go.
Yeah, although I have to admit, what gave Nurgle the idea to create that particular morph in... What gave Nurgle the idea to create that morph in particular? It's not like he's basing it on anyone's image.
I guess it just maybe he had some kind of like randomizer, I don't know.
Oh
like
god, I nearly just spat my soda all over the screen.
Maybe some dark magic equivalent of I feel lucky on Google.
Oh god.
Oh dear.
That leads to such a hilarious mental image.
Yeah. Well, enjoy the last while you can, folks, because from here it kind of gets a bit grim. For one thing, you remember we were talking about later guided amnesia? Well, Ninian was actually trying to escape this island, and we're accidentally bringing her back, which...
Yeah.
That's just unfortunate on so many levels. And then, I believe... After this next scene, sorry, my screen's cutting out at the moment, so I'm finding it incredibly difficult to know where we are at this point. The next scene is when things all get much, much darker.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, here's Lena. Remember her? The spy who had managed to get us all this information in the first place? He's not gonna make it out alive.
Yeah, I'll save my thoughts for whenever the second character in this scene appears.
Yeah. or the third in this case, because this scene, I have to admit, from a narrative perspective, it is quite effective for many reasons. First of all, it's the introduction of not only of Jafar, but of his class, which is a unique in itself, and yeah, that was a violent death.
Now let me just put this out here right now. From 2004, let me just put this out here right now. FNL and Jafar, from 2004 up until 2007, I hated both those sons of bitches for so long.
Yeah, I can understand why. Because Lena, we saw very little of her, but she looked like a really cool character. And then just to see her get completely torn apart like that.
Yeah. Suffice it to say, it took a long time before I was ever open to the idea of liking Jafar.
Yeah.
And FNL can f***ing burn.
Yeah. It also, I think it's definitely a lot more effective than any of the characters like Marcus and Turris, because let's be honest, you have the limitations of this mugshot. Just hearing a stabbing sound effect and then just having a speech roll going, ugh, is really not that effective. Just seeing someone get act like that in a battle scene, that gets the point across.
Yeah. Something that Fire Emblem 8 really seemed to want to drive home.
Yeah.
We never made it that far. They really loved that trope.
Yeah. Now, that scene, this scene, there's one element that I'm kind of torn on in hindsight, because, again, it kind of presents this image which, like, really hits home to our characters, because it's kind of gruesome what they did. They basically just dug a corpse and left it on a tree for anyone to find. And it's kind of a gruesome image, but I don't know, part of me wonders if this scene would have been more effective if we had a piece of artwork showing that. I don't know if it might have been a little too much for a Nintendo game, but, you know, I just feel that just having the mugshot just standing there with its eyes closed doesn't quite get the same thing across.
Well, I see what you mean, and it's kind of odd that they didn't do that, because this is Fire Emblem, the same series that in Game 4 murdered the entire starting cast.
Yeah, that's... I don't know. It's something one... I don't know. It's something that could have been done. But that said...
Yeah, and let me just remark on this going in. Because of all this build-up around the scene that we just saw, whenever I went into this map originally, I think I had the closest thing to an in-game roaring rampage of revenge I've ever had on any enemy ever.
Yeah, I can understand why, especially since one really good move they did was to include that little bit with Matthew a little earlier, where the group tries to break it to him what's happened, and he's just dwelling on the little feelings of thinking maybe I should have been a little quicker.
Yeah, and I'm gonna spoil a bit about this character we're seeing right here, the boss of the chapter, Yuhai. Even though we find out that he's actually pretty sympathetic for the Black Fang, oh, he died so hard whenever I went through this.
Yeah.
I wasn't feeling discriminate.
Yeah. Basically, this guy, Yuhai, he's pretty interesting villain, because in fact, this entire chapter is pretty interesting, because, again, like Sven said, we were already really not liking the Black Fang at this moment in time because of what's happened, and he's just basically coming on saying you have absolutely no chance of winning, and is taking Lynn hostage. But then, in a little while ago, he's actually going to show completely different colours, because, first of all, we just need to wait for Edward to have his badass moments. And then, yeah, he just lets Link go as he will fight so honorably. It's kind of interesting that compared to like the complete and utter monsters we've seen, he's one of the few guys who actually has honor, and apparently there are other members of the Black Band who there is I guess you could say ethics.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if we've discussed it yet, but that's touched upon later with what the Black Fang used to be.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of mentioned before that they were sort of like Robin Hood type figures. Yeah, they broke the law, but they were trying to do it for good deeds. And it's kind of an interesting contrast that we have the complete monsters and yet the honorable villains, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and it is such a... And even though I kind of sort of indiscriminately murdered everything I could murder on Yuhai the first time around, in hindsight, it's actually a really interesting contrast to go from the absolute and unequivocal asshole that Ephodel is, straight into Yuhai.
Yeah. And okay, speaking about the map itself, you get darts straight off the map, and he only has a steel axe and a hand axe. I would suggest giving him the iron axe, since he hasn't really got enough speed to double attack with that thing yet, and plus he has a tendency to miss a lot. So.
Yeah, he's an axeman. What can you expect?
Yeah. Although on the plus side, he does have a torch, which will make clearing the fog a lot easier, because as you can clearly see, there's fog all over the map, so enemies are going to come at you from all directions. And it's hard to plan ahead.
Yeah, this I always found was one of the more annoying Fog of War maps, too.
Generally, there are 3 areas that guys are most likely to come from. There's the central islands that you can see with that's connected by snags, which is why I had Canada's taken attacking the logs, just so we can start take out the enemy before they start coming to us. There's the top right path, which usually has Pegasus, Knights, and Nomads, as you can see there. Ow.
Yeah, definitely ow.
Yeah, and the bottom path, you're mostly going to be dealing with cavalry, so I usually send down the Axeman and, in this case, guy with a longsword in order to cut them off, because, yeah, longsword, we think we briefly touched on it in the last part. It's basically a weapon that gives you a special attack bonus whenever you go up against any kind of horseman, and that's kind of useful for swordsman like Guy, since they don't get to use the special weapons like the Manikati or the rapier.
Indeed. And wow, Guy, nice work.
The middle chapter, yeah, you tend to get a lot of ranged weapons because of the whole snag business, particularly longbows. That guy can get really annoying.
Well, for me, he would be more annoying if longbows could actually hit.
That is true, yeah. Longbows, it's kind of a useful weapon, but it really is terrible in terms of accuracy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
Generally,
wow, you were doing good with dodging.
Yeah, I was really lucky this time. Oh, that thief, you may want to take him out as quickly as possible, because yeah, he has one decent item on him, which you can either steal off him with Matthew or just obtain him by just killing him before he leaves the map. I think we'll get to see it soon if Passbee's done fiddling around. Passbee, what are you doing?
I'm not really sure.
Yeah. Oh, right. I think I'm concentrating more on getting to the central island right now.
Yes.
So, yeah, we can get lit across to start killing the horsemen.
Sorry, horsemen, we are feeling very, very unremorseful.
You also saw earlier, I moved Ked up towards the northwestern part of the map because there will be reinforcements coming from the sea, rather irritatingly.
Yes, the pirates. Also, it just hit me. Unremorseful isn't even a word. Remorseless is.
Grammar, what can you do?
I just said the first thing that came to my head. Sometimes there's an issue with that.
Yeah.
Castration?
Yeah, a certain running joke. Okay,
Damn,
so
Lynn. Damn, that's
upset.
speed.
Yeah. Ah, yes, we briefly touched about it. Nosferatu is, as Sven called it, the vampire spell. Basically, the damage you hit with it also allows you gets healed by attack. So if you do 9 damage, you get 9 HP back, which is kind of a useful spell, but it is also a very heavy tome, so you're more than likely going to get double attack for your trouble.
Indeed, and regarding the character that just came in, I find it really funny how straight from the gate she's kind of presented as what the audience is feeling, hell bent on revenge.
Yeah, this character Fiora is the last of her unit, which basically just completely slaughtered off screen. I had to get to this island, unfortunately, and what we just picked up right now is the torch staff. It is basically a ranged torch that you can do from several feet away rather than just around the character's position. I believe the range is the magic of the staff user. I'm not 100% sure.
I believe it's magic by half.
Ah.
I think that's how ranged staves, however the hell you say that work.
Yeah. I've always said staff, so don't know what the official pronunciation is.
Fair enough.
Oh, yes. From the top side of the screen, you get Pirate and Pegasus Knight reinforcements. I think in anyone's story, they're just pirates both ways, but in Hector's mode, they always like to introduce Pegasus Knights over and over and over again.
Which, well, Dart welcomes it.
Yep.
Classy, Jonin.
Yeah, sorry, I keep getting bored of this. But yeah, it's a good place to give him some experience, and I think it's also the last time we'll probably see Ken again in this situation.
Oh, poor guy. Oh, hey, yeah. Dart gained speed. It's an accident miracle.
I know, right? But yeah, in order to Fiora, you talk to Florida because they're sisters. Believe it or not.
Yeah, which I've always found funny because, there's 3 of them. Spoilers. People who have played the game probably already know this. But there's 3 of them. They all have different hair colors and different eye colors. I don't want to know how that works.
I could make suggestions, but I don't think any of them would suit the age rating of this game.
Yeah, swiftly moving on.
Yeah. Stat-wise, Fiora's kind of an interesting unit. She's a Pegasus Knight more focused on speed. Not focused on speed so much, more focused on defense. Now, keep in mind, she is a Pegasus Knight, so it's like comparing cardboard to paper, but it still means she can take a lot more hits than Florida can, although most of the time Pegasus Knights are dodging her. Point is, she's a pretty good unit, but less focused on strength and more focused on defense and dodging.
Yes. And she has an absolutely absurd skill growth, it must be said, so if you never want to miss anything ever, case in point, go with Fiora.
Yep. I mean, if you had to choose only one Pegasus Knight, I would probably say Florina was a better choice, but overall, since I'm a Pegasus Knight fanboy, I will use both of them because they do make pretty good units.
Yeah.
And
okay.
So there was a reason why past me would keep the show. Oh yeah, throwing off the torch stuff. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's half the magic range. Magic range? Magic staff. Staff? Oh, it.
We keep screwing that up. Oh dear. Oh yeah. Down goes the Miradon, so I believe, yeah, here we go. Level up for Fiora, and
case in point with the skill, people.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen her miss so far, except for one situation. And yeah, here's Yahai, the boss of the level, and he's kind of tricky to approach because he doesn't really move, but he has a fair amount of range because he's got a steel bow and a long bow, which means, for the love of God, do not put your healers directly behind your units, because they are going to get killed very quickly.
Yeah, of every single character in the entire game that uses a longbow, Yuhai is literally the only character that knows how to use one.
Pretty much. Oh, a short bow, sorry, my mistake, not a steel bow. Well, that's kind of a blessing, I guess. It's not quite as powerful, although he does get critical more often.
Yeah, I've had that happen to me before.
Yeah, my main strategy would be use the thicker units like Oswin to basically force him to use a bow, and then try to basically just rush him with every single physical attacking unit whilst he can't fight back at close range. Because, yeah, you don't want him to switch to his killing edge. That will make things painful.
Unbelievably painful. And also, let me just add here that even though I went on that whole spiel about revenge here, this is precisely what I mean. Because we're ganging up on Yuhai with literally everything we have while he can't defend himself.
Pretty much, and it's what actually makes it pretty awkward, and it's also a really nice contrast is that just after you've seen the worst aspects of the Black Fang with them being evil and just mercilessly slaughtering one of our comrades and sticking their corpse up on a tree, we then get Yuhai, who's not only a very honourable person, but as we see here, he actually really enjoyed the Black Fang, their company. They were like a family to him, and yeah, now he just feels empty, hollow, and
we just killed him.
About the
So overall, that was kind of a. Overall, it was kind of a brilliant move to put a sympathetic boss. My God, he's taken a long time to die. It was kind of a brilliant move to put a sympathetic boss so soon after that happened.
Yeah.
But still just kind of caught the full brunt of our brutal, merciless, bloody wrath anyway.
Yeah. Also, okay, I know Sven's already made the joke, but this is a little bit ridiculous. I mean, okay, since he hides the sympathetic villain, it's nice that he helps us in the end with directions, but at the same time, his moment of death is very convenient. It's like, turn right to the tree, whatever you do.
Yeah. It made even less sense the way we just did it, because he just took a critical hit.
Yeah, he just
got eviscerated both directions diagonally.
Yeah. But yeah, this is pretty much the end of this part. Join us next time when we start on the side quest, which you unlock by defeating this chapter in 15 turns or less. Although it's actually fairly easy to do, to be honest. But either way, that was me, the Johnny Monkey.
And me, Sven the Crusader. All aboard Hector's cathartic murder wagon.